Hello, and welcome to a walkthrough guide, whatever you would like to call it, of the Keymaster fight in Iratus Lord of the Dead, Wrath of the Necromancer. So, doing this is part of my current run, so if you're watching this for attached to the previous videos in the playlist, yeah, this is the same thing. It's just instead of simply doing the fight and move on, I'm going to break down a little bit of how the fight works, what would be the best way to go about this, and actually do the fight. So, the Keymaster is one of, I think, potentially two bosses you can fight as the first boss. He was the first when he was in there when the game started, was the only first boss, and they added another. I've actually done her as well, but I don't appear to have her token. But I did her on a previous run. Anyway, we're talking about the Keymaster. So, Keymaster himself is a stamina fight. You'll see as we go, he himself is not the huge threat. The fact is he continuously summons adds for you to fight. So let's go into his traits. Doesn't escape, no boss ever does. 30% chance to redirect any attack or debuff to an ally standing in front. This isn't as big a deal as you think because you will be kind of chewing up his minions, but you'll see later it does force you to put you in a position to help him summon more minions. And increases the initiative of all allies by the current round number. That kind of gives you a soft enrage, but at the same time not really, because that just means they keep going faster. Which again isn't really a big deal. So, you see by his numbers, he hits decently hard, not super scary. His health and his sanity are in the 500. He has slightly more sanity, decent accuracy, no evasion, about the fourth of a chance to crit, and no armor or resistance, so you don't have to worry about taking care of that. So his first ability, so what happens is when the fight starts, it's going to be him and three, I can show you right quick, you'll see it's going to be him. If I actually get to the dungeon, you'll see it's going to be him and three flunkies. They're all going to be baseline, essentially lower level enemies from the beginning of the mines. He's not going to summon ogres or anything major like that. The biggest problem you'll usually have to fight is miners because just their high damage output. So getting back to his token. As you see, first ability is a physical attack. He moves back one and deals a bit of damage. This is actually his most problematic thing because he hits everyone with it. So anyone who does not have sustain is going to take damage, even though from no other position can he can hit people from other positions. But this is just the biggest problem you'll have to face because he'll do a decent amount of damage to everybody at this point in the game, mainly your backline, as you'll see, because I'm going to use a bride against him, and her sustain alone is not that impressive. I give her Vampire Fangs to help her with that, but again, if he keeps wailing on this, as well as any of his minions attack the bride, she's going to have a bad time. So I would have her with the Fangs and a Bone Golem. But this is just probably what's going to kill your guys, if anything, just because it's damage that you can't avoid. It hits everyone. His next one is if he's in the back, he can do a physical attack for a little bit more, and he stuns, and they receive negative armor. This is kind of what he might bop your tanks with. Keep in mind, though, he can't use this from the first and second position. That'll kind of become important. But this is his other attack, and this kind of sucks if you put on your tanks, but it's only for 2 turns, negative armor, and again, all of his flunkies are kind of baseline, and as you'll see, everybody else has decent sustain in my group. But you'll want to, again, another reason you'll want to make sure you have high sustain. Pretty much any boss fight requires high sustain since they're longer than normal fights, and you can't blitz down the biggest threat, which is the boss. Third ability is he restores all ally sanity by 15, buffs all allies until the end of battle +8. The +8 isn't as big of a deal because he's going to cycle through adds a lot. They're going to die, you're going to kill them, so this doesn't really stack on them. The bigger problem, and this also allows him to move back. He really doesn't like to be in the front. So then he's going to move back a lot. So what you're looking at here is he restores 15 sanity. This kind of reduces the effectiveness of a sanity group, but I'll explain this isn't a big enough deterrent. If you want to use a sanity group, you can still use that. Because again, you're trying to cut down this tree of 545. He doesn't really use this ability all that much, or at the very least, it's not like he spams it, so that's not a huge threat compared to if you're trying to make him die by heart attack or eat him with the big abomination. Now here's his mechanic that makes the fight. The first one is he can summon a conscript, hunky, or miner. Now, and the summon character receives +4 attack. Now, you'll notice he can do this from any position. And he usually will do this because he's going to have 3 allies. If one of the spots has been empty for a few turns, he might do this and he'll make them a little bit bigger. So, this is kind of just his to fill in spots every so often. He doesn't do it super reliably. You can have an empty spot every so often, but...
My conquest is not yet complete.
I'm talking, buddy. So, keep that in mind. This is one of the abilities he uses to summon adds. And this is his other ability when he summons adds. He summons up to 3 conscripts, hunkies, or miners. Though you'll notice, since this is from the first position, he'll only do this if you've killed all other adds. So it's a nice way of saying you have better control of the adds usually if you leave one up. Essentially, yeah, leave one up. He might summon one, but he can't summon all 3 since every other of his abilities tends to put him in the back. And most of hunkies and miners tend to move to the front. So, and he has no 6 ability. So, again, he himself is, he does damage, but the big threat is that he keeps summoning adds. You need to manage the adds properly. So, looking at the actual group I'm about to bring in, I'm going to bring in a pure physical team. This is being recorded just after the werewolf hit into the game, so about a year after the initial release. So I'm going with a pure physical team with a lot of sustain. Primarily because, while I do like stress, I'll show you my stress team real quick, which is the Mummy, the A-Bomb, Void Knight, and the Banshee. This could beat him, because the Abomination would basically be unkillable after he eats about 3 adds. So he could win the fight just off going beast mode and just eventually whittling the Keymaster down, because the Keymaster has no heal and no sustain. So he'd eventually win. I mean, you might lose some of these, though. But I'm not using them again, firstly because of the sanity. Second, in this particular game, they're a lot lower level. They've had a rough time up till now. A few fights with Bad Inspire. For also information, this is on Cataclysm 1 difficulty, so lots of inspiration happened. They had a bad time. They're kind of behind on levels. I really don't want to use them. And while the Mummy is good for eating that armor debuff and stun, again, stress tends to be a lot less able to kill things super quick. They kill things eventually, and usually they kind of kill the whole team, especially this one, since I tend to have him take the knee with his Feudal Hopes ability, and he can eventually eat that. Still, they'll take more damage, and since the guy has a little bit of sanity restore, it's mainly because these guys are bigger and I want to guarantee a win, since you don't want to lose a team against a boss. So, in this case, he doesn't have any armor, so I don't need to use a werewolf's other abilities. So really, I'm just bringing it for the sustain. Werewolf has his own, get 20% of his health back each turn. The Bone Golem is a Bone Golem. You know what that does, or at least you should at this point. And if you don't, he throws up wards and has a massive amount of sustain. Recovers 20% of his health when he wants to, and throws out wards. So I use him purely for tanking. The Ghoul is pretty much also unstoppable in this fight, because since he keeps summoning minions she can eat, she just, anytime she even gets lower in trouble, she just heals full. The most vulnerable person here is the Bride. I'll use her for the burst, and she's the one that's generally going to focus on killing the Keymaster, because she can hit the back line very reliably. The Werewolf can do that too, I forgot. He's new, so this is the first time I'm trying it with him. Now, since he can hit her with the AoE abilities, as well as a few other abilities, you need to give her some sustain, so she has some Vampire Fangs, and the Bone Golem's probably going to be babysitting her a lot. So, you just need to keep an eye on that. She's the one that's going to be most vulnerable in that fight. And for my other specs, I just have some basically the artifacts I got, which are, I got a fork, a little bit less damage early on, souls, and some spell power. So nothing special there, but there's no specific artifact I need. I'd really like to have the shackles for them. But anyway, that's not about that. Anyway, so that's the strategy you're looking at. Either one will work. I'm just doing physical because I like the fact that they can burn down things quickly, and since he keeps summoning adds, and also the Ghoul just becomes unkillable. The Ghoul's unkillable, just like the Abomination will be unkillable, but the Ghoul does more damage, and again, I think physical is better than stress for this particular fight, especially since the team is just that much more leveled. The only other thing you'd probably want to have is some potions, and in my case, I'm bringing in 2 Ancient Vampire Bloods. Just for the specific reason of because they give more sustain, it's probably going to be on her. These 3 are probably not going to need it. If it turns out the werewolf's having a bad time, I'll use my second one on him. She has a baseline from her trait, so she restores a health shield damage anyway, and he's a bone golem. So, that's what we're looking at here. So, we're about to go into the fight. Get these guys up. I don't need you in front, actually, just because... Again, this is the first time I tried for the werewolf, but likely what the strategy is, I got him to get hunting down to where he catch the laggards, and it's only in the back line. So while there's 3 minions up, he can do some serious damage to the big guy in the back. So this might even be easier than I would think. But, let's go. Let's do this, and we'll talk about it as we go through it. Again, I think this will probably be a wipeout on my... Yeah. And if you want to read this, this is part of his thing, but it's just a little bit of text. A little bit of lore, if you care. Okay, so he is not in... Oh, that's right, he starts in the 3rd position. With that in mind, the biggest threat here is, out of all of them, is him. There's no point in tagging him right away, just because, again, he has redirects. So probably what we're going to do is work on the miner. Oh, man, I don't like the fact that... Yeah, okay. You know what I think we'll do? We'll probably kill him, leave the hunky up till he summons more. So... Ooh. Starting early, huh? Well, she can't eat him yet, so let's just wait. I have the remove blocks for her. You always want to get restrained slaughter for her. It makes it real good here because no wards, blocks, whatever. That's fine. He doesn't care if he's in the back position. Since this is going to be a long fight, buff yourself. They have no sanity, but they are slightly buffed now. So to start with this, have him throw out wards and heal. Ouch. Okay. Wow, already. But no, we want to have her eat him and go and get very, very big. He's in the back, but I'm not going to waste taking out wards on that.
Savor these last few heartbeats.
Since we have such high sustain, we're not exactly in a rush to burn this down. We just want to maintain control. Never mind, I'll eat him. And also, the ghoul started out with a lunch break buff due to her... due to her cultist token. Comes the big shot. Boom! Yep. Need to watch out for that. Okay. I'd really like my ghoul to go next. Okay, she's the last one. That's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Honestly, let's buff her again. I forget if it stacks. Does it stack? It does stack. Doing that because I'd rather do that than waste a ward when she can just eat all the wards right off the bat. And he has no way of getting... I keep saying wards, those are blocks. I'm sorry. Oh, that's not good. Also not good. Okay. A little bit of a rough time here. Much as I hate to waste the shot on him...
Speed of thought.
Give us a little bit of speed, hoping to get him, because the last thing I need is for him to die, because he's going to have a turn missed, and these two guys are going to get a turn next. Likely, if I kill him, he's going to summon ads. I just need to have him not get a crit and stun him out. What I think I'll do, I hate to waste the attack just on this guy with literally 1 health, but I don't want to use any Wrath right now, just because I want to save it for him getting Blood Moon, so.
One less annoyance in the world.
And it's a shame it's only effective damage, because then 54 health would have done some serious work to topping her off, but that's not a big problem right now. Okay, so now he redirected. That's fine. Okay, he can't one-shot him, especially when he's still got 55 health and he's full armor. So as long as he doesn't stun him out, we're fine. Yeah, this is essentially what you want. You want him to summon one at a time, and he summoned a weak one. So this is exactly what you want to happen. Okay, so now my werewolf's going to get 2 attacks each turn. So we're going to eat the hunky and leave him up. He's probably going to take the stance. Thought he moves back when he does that. No, okay. So...
One by one, life vanishes from this world.
This is what we want to happen. Alright, question of the day. So, quick math. Well, it's 49 to 54. To 255%. Because it's better if I could just one-shot him than try to interrupt his stance. There we go. Ouch. 3 corpses with 1 bolt. Okay. So, she has... As you can see, because of lunch break, I have her having 20% extra vigor and all these other stats per stack. So she is rather big right now. And since she does damage per health, we're just going to have her keep working. No point having her use a... And he has natural heal, so we're looking very good right now. It's pretty much won at this point. I've got a pattern going, and he's not managed to eat anybody with his early advantage, so now we just need to work him down. Really, the only way he gets 3 back is if he keeps getting redirects and I accidentally kill one of these guys. I meant to target him. That was... Okay, that was a poor move on my part, but again, even if he gets 3 back, it's not a big deal at this point. Probably stance. Nope, weak stab, I'll take it. Hear that? That's what freedom sounds like. Alright. So let's just finish this guy off.
This is what 1,000 years of evolution looks like? Pathetic.
So... I was forgetting whether or not you could actually eat... whether you could actually eat him, but then I remember you can't eat bosses. That'd be a little broken, especially later in the game when 20% of their health... 20% is 200 health. So...
I hope there will still be enough left to reanimate.
Not worth using up... Oh, wait. You go... Yeah, you get free mana and health after each one, I think. I forget it after you beat a boss. We don't need to. We just don't. Okay. He's looking worse for wear. Ow. This is where I get worried about the werewolf's viability later, because just a 30 crit, since you can't increase his health and he's low max health to begin with, it worries me, but it's not a big deal. Just keep working on him. So at this point, this fight is pretty much over. We just need to hit him a few more times. Not quite. Does he have 1 health left? 4. Okay, ultimate shame. You get killed by the bone golem. Aww, come on, guy. Alright, so easy peasy. Not yet. Okay. One more time.
Opposing me? You're lost.
Now it's done. Alright, so that was it. Easy peasy.
As your suffering ends, your service begins.
Nice. Alright, so, and that's the Keymaster fight, and that's one of the bosses of Act 1. So, again, the stress team would have worked just as well. The only difference being we would have had less sustain, since I don't have any good way to give the Banshee health right now other than using the Vampire Blood Potion on her and going and having her stress. And they just wouldn't have killed the... Unless he had that up, we wouldn't have killed the minions as quick. So, again, stresses takes more time and not guaranteed kills due to heart attack or whatever, except for his ult. And whereas they just shoot him up and level difference. So, either one works. But that is a Keymaster. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please do all the lovely interactive stuff, like, comment, and subscribe, because it feeds the Google algorithm, gets this thing more views and more attention, and that's what I want, because I'm going to shamelessly keep saying it. I got kids to put through college. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next boss. He'll be coming up soon. Or she. I'm not sure if there's a different one other than the engineer. But anyway, goodbye.